See, I'm a little slow because I'm still hurting from the Kentucky Deluxe. I have a deluxe hangover right now.
That's what Brandon texted me today at like 5:30 p.m. This hangover is deluxe.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Western Wisconsin Whiskey Emporium for ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eddie.
I'm Dan.
And we're the Deathless Dogs.
Today we're taking a look back at the 3 releases of Booker's in 2020, the Booker's Year in Review, and we're going to blind taste all 3 of them and determine who we think is the winner.
I was really confused by how Dan set up the system, but it truly is blind. We got these fancy beakers, and then we have coasters that say A, B, and C. I believe you filled the beakers, and then I filled the glasses.
You believe that, or
in
is that what
separate
happened?
rooms. That is what happened.
Just so it can be totally blind, what we did is, I filled the beakers, with 2 pours of one of these, wrote down what I put in them. He didn't know what was in each numbered beaker. And then he poured them into the glens. So I don't know which number he poured into which glen. So neither of us know. And to be honest with you, I already forgot which ones I poured in the beakers, which is why we write things down.
We wrote it down.
Yeah. So we're going into this blind.
I don't know if I've had all of them from 2020 yet. I think I had the Boston batch and...
You had the Grannies.
Granny's batch, I think, is going to be my favorite, and I think I should be able to tell which one that is. I don't think I've had Pigskin batch, so that one's going to be the wild card for me.
Pigskin batch, I think, was my favorite, just based off of just drinking them. But we'll find out today. You can see the order they kind of came out in by like how much is missing of each bottle. Normally, there would be 4 releases of Booker's. It used to be like 6. They brought it down to 4. There was supposed to be 4 releases this year. There was a huge delay in the 03 coming out. And I believe the story was that as they were tasting what was set aside to be Pigskin batch, they determined it wasn't up to par. So they didn't want to release a subpar product. So basically what this is, people figure, we can't be completely sure, obviously, but people assume this was what was going to be the 2020 04, and they just named it the 03 Pigskin. We don't know that for a fact, but that's kind of the word on the street. There will not be a 2020 04. They've already announced the 2021 01 will be coming out.
So keep your eyes peeled. Do you know what that one's called?
I forget off the top of my head. Insert thing here. Of what it's called. I just saw it the other day on the Bourbon Junkies stream. They looked at the whiskey calendar, like release calendar for the year, and that was one of the first ones on there.
I'm sure the price point's going to be anywhere from like $85 to $120.
This one I paid $99 for.
Okay.
At Festival. You bought this one
for $84.
$84. And this one I believe I got for $80.
Wow.
The Booker's pricing is kind of all over the place. And that's one of the reasons people are kind of falling out of love with Booker's, is it's not that they don't think it's good. It's just that the price is getting up there to where they're thinking maybe it's not worth it. And then with the way it's different batches, like you could spend $100 and then it's a batch that you don't really like.
Yeah.
And then
it's a gamble.
That's a steep price to pay for something you don't really like. I will say, tasting all 3 of them this year, I did enjoy all 3 of them, though. There wasn't any of them that I was like, I don't like that. I thought they were all good.
Yeah. Without
further ado, we just jump in and start going down the line. We'll kind of write our rankings down, so we're not really influencing each other either. We can talk about them and give like notes on what we're smelling, what we're tasting, but then when it comes to what we think is the best one, we'll keep that to ourselves as well until the end, until the reveal.
I'm already fancy swirling.
We'll start with A, going for a little nose on that.
I'm getting like a caramely sweet smell.
There's a little bit of nut, but it is more caramel. It's caramel dominant.
Maybe a little bit of apple too, like red apple.
Yeah, very sweet though, you're right. Yeah, maybe like just caramel apple. And with the sweetness, almost like those caramel apple suckers.
I was thinking more red apple, but I could kind of see
they make red ones of those.
Oh, okay.
When we were kids, it was only greens, I think.
Yeah.
But now they do have reds.
I didn't know that.
Should we nose B?
I gotta smell the back of my hand to bring back...
Is that what we're supposed to do?
I think so, yeah. You bring back some earthiness.
This one I'm getting a lot more of the nut kind of vibe.
This one's a much more faint smell. I'm really working for this one. It's a little bit more bitter, if that makes sense.
Yeah, whereas the first one almost, we were saying red apple, but almost that kind of tartness. Not catching a lot of fruit.
No.
I don't know about you.
Fruit. No, I had to work for it. I was getting bitterness, which probably is the nuttiness that you're smelling.
Yeah, I'm catching that
And
bitterness that you're
it's more
talking now.
faint.
A little ethanol in there.
It's like earthy, if that makes sense. The smell of A is much more pleasant. This one...
Yeah, if I went back to A, it's... Yeah, much more fruity, much more...
This one is... Yeah, it's not much on the nose.
Tamer. Nothing is really super prevalent in the nose.
Let's go to C. This one is more faint as well, but it's more caramely. Not as appley, though, weirdly. Kind of reminds me a bit of like that brown sugary Stag Junior smell.
Still that nut, though. On that one, I almost got like dust. Like dusty. You know what I mean?
Like wood dust?
Dusty, like peanut shells. Like I worked in the grocery store, and you have that big barrel of peanuts that you can scoop out. It smells like the stuff that's like at the bottom of that, all the like little broken pieces.
I get that. So if you're a nose person, I think A has the best nose. Red apple, sucker, tart, caramely. It's got the most strong smell.
A is definitely the strongest smell. Just to like verify, I'm gonna go back to it, and yeah, it comes through.
I went back to B.
Well, see now B, I'm getting more.
It's like weirdly vegetal all of a sudden, like a tomato salsa. That's where
It
that
smells
earthy
like
is coming in.
it almost smells like a pepper plant.
Yeah.
Like when you buy plants at the store to go home and plant in your garden, like the leaves on those plants.
It's more faint though than A. Yeah, let's check out the taste on A. Let's clink them and drink them.
Coming in hot.
Coming on, yeah!
Prolonged Kentucky hug.
Yeah.
I really feel that like in here,
I feel like tasting Booker's, you kind of do need to get that first like, oh shit, out of the way.
Right.
And then let it.
It's hot.
That one, the sweetness comes through, still super hot. Sweet peanut kind of.
I'm getting vanilla and caramel on the front of my tongue. The sweetness is all on the front, but it leaves like a burn on the middle.
I'm getting something sweet at the back too, though.
Bitterness is at the very back, right before the hug starts.
Yeah, but
and that's kind of where the peanutty nuttiness is, I think.
But there, like that's where I am catching still yet a little. There's like a little sweet shot before it gives you that.
It's pleasant. Let's check out B.
Very different than the first one.
This one is more mild, but it comes through strangely with that almost vegetal earthiness.
That's that smell that we were catching.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit funky.
I'm saying it's more mild and drinkable because it doesn't even have like the prolonged Kentucky huggy.
Not super hot.
It tastes kind of like how it smells.
Spicy, but not hot like this one was. Doesn't have the alcohol burn, but still has a nice spice.
I just breathed out, and it kind of has that roasted peanut taste to it.
Yeah, I get that bringing it in as well. It doesn't have the punch in the mouth that A does.
Absolutely not, yeah.
B is much more sweet, much more easygoing, but still tons of flavor.
There's no real like traditional vanilla or caramel notes like you would get out of a lot of bourbons. I mean, there's some sweetness that's there.
It's trying, but it's not there.
It's roasted.
I got the fucking numb lips going on.
I think it's from A still. I think
it's just a combo. All right, we'll try C. Creamy.
That's like smooth, but I don't know if it's because I just drank like cold water. You're saying it's creamy?
Well, I drank room temperature water. And I'm getting like a creamy, almost creamy peanut butter, a little bit of bitterness at the back, a little bit of that oak. Maybe like a tinge of apple, but not much. It starts going apple, and then the bitterness takes over.
A little bit of apple like on the middle of my tongue.
Mm-hmm.
You had to really just sit it there for a while. This, in terms of like hot versus mild, comes in the middle of the pack, I think. It has some staying power, surprisingly.
Yeah, it's hanging out.
There may be like a little bit of vanilla going on. There's like a sweet element to this one that B doesn't have as much.
Maybe we should let them sit and open up a little bit.
Yeah, we can do that.
Before the buzzer, I did get a Nintendo Switch.
That's cool. Other cool things, we released our EP.
Oh yeah. Weirdly enough, forgetting about that. I think I discovered what my allergy is. It's birch trees.
I feel like Indiana's the Nebraska of the East.
We didn't have time.
They have a golden eagle.
We didn't have time.
You know how big golden eagles are?
I feel like the Bermuda Triangle was really big when we were young, and
Yeah,
you don't hear about it anymore. Anyway, I suppose we've let these sit. We've probably rambled about 10 minutes or so.
Are we going CBA this time?
I think maybe we just rock ABC right back through.
ABC, let's do it. Still hot, still caramel, still apple. This is the outlier. This is the one that is like more fruity, less nutty.
Yeah, maybe. There's still some nut in there, though. I'm still holding to that peppery.
Cinnamon. I just got cinnamon.
Black pepper.
Needless to say, this one is the hottest of this year's Bookers.
I would agree with that. But I'd say letting it sit, I mean, it's tamed it down a little bit.
A little bit.
But not, like, to a crazy level. All right, we can jump back on B.
Bees?
That really faded the smell substantially by letting it sit. I'm glad we wrote down the notes of what that...
Yeah, less of the... still some of that leafiness, but less of that, I feel like.
Took that one to the house. Still very mild, drinkable. Not a big hug to it. Tastes like how it smells with that leafiness, that herbal earthiness.
The most vegetal... That last sip, I was almost catching like a butterscotch kind of thing.
C.
Super caramely nose.
We didn't have that in the original description.
Yeah, you know what this is almost coming to me like now? Like a payday. Like a caramel peanut.
Still that creamy peanut butter with some bitterness to it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like the middle of the pack in terms of flavor and heat. It's just, and smell. Like this is like the middle of the road.
Okay, I'm ranked.
I'll stand by this.
I'm ranked up.
I'm doing. I'm ranked.
All right. Where's your legend?
Here's the legend.
What did you put in third?
B.
I had B for third as well.
Oh, so we have the same.
B was Granny's batch.
I went, what?
B was Granny's batch.
No fucking way.
So you had A in second as well?
And I think that's Boston.
A is Pigskin.
Oh.
C, number 1, Boston batch.
Wow.
Wow.
Boston batch is the unanimous.
I did not expect that. It's an undisputed champion. We both chose it blindly.
We actually had the same
We both had the
race.
same rankings.
CAB, we went
Yep.
cab. We took the cab.
2020 Booker's best batch. It's Boston. That's surprising to me. I was expecting Pigskin.
And that's second. That's the
Pigskin
unanimous
came in
second.
second. Pigskin was A. Pigskin was the hottest.
I'm amazed
Which is
because
weird
I
to
thought
me.
Granny's batch, like I thought I loved it, like as far back as Halloween. And I mean, none of these are bad.
None of them are bad.
None of them are losers, really.
But you put them all side by side and you can really test their mettle against each other. And Granny's, who you were predicting would be your favorite.
Yeah, absolutely. I
And-
remember it being very peanut forward, very nutty.
And we both brought it in last. When I went back and I was retasting, C was my number 1. I had to figure out 2 and 3. I don't want to say an upset victory, but maybe an upset in our minds. We kind of had our
preconceived notions, but that's the benefit of doing blind taste testing.
Absolutely. I think this turned out to be a winner. We'll definitely do some more in the future.
We do have a Knob Creek Store Pick Battle Royale lined up.
That'll be coming. We do have an Old Forester store pick battle we're going to do. I think this was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it's fun when the belt gets to come. I'm glad we had an undisputed winner so the belt could come out. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button. We're here every Wednesday with a new video.
From the Western Wisconsin Whiskey Emporium for ladies and gentlemen, we have a new champion. We're out. I think the new Bigfoot is those like supernatural ghost hunters who like bring microphones into houses and like, "Are you here? Do you hear me?"
Yeah, bitch.
Did you hear that they like